Hello, and welcome to Bits and Pieces. I am Jasper, and this time I will be speaking about RAM or memory. They are both terms used for the same purpose. They're used to refer to the same thing. RAM is the more official term for it, so to speak. It's what it's technically called and how it works. Because RAM stands for Random Access Memory, which means that the computer will place the data onto the RAM randomly and access it randomly. It's essential for a computer. You need at least one bit of RAM in your system for it to run properly, and it varies on the different size and speeds. And those are things you need to consider with your system. They also have this main technology called DDR or double data rate. It is the main technology that they use with them, and it doubles the speed of RAM from SD RAM, which is single data rate RAM, and DDR. It almost doubles the speed. And there's 5 levels, DDR1 to DDR5, and they are not compatible with each other. The sticks are built differently and therefore cannot be placed into a slot of a different type. So if you know you have DDR4 RAM slots, do not buy DDR5 RAM. It will not work. Another thing you want to look into is the size, as it comes into different sizes for data, and it's typically anywhere between 4 gigs and 8 gigs, although it can be higher. And a current sweet spot for total size is generally around 16 gigs, because even if you're going to do some really intensive stuff, at most you're probably going to need 16 gigs of RAM. There's also the clock speed, which is just the speed at which RAM can be run at, and they all run at different speeds, and you want to match the speeds together, because if you do not match the speeds together, it will run at the speed of the slowest stick, which is not usually the best option, because you could have faster sticks in there and they will not be running at their fastest speed. So make sure that you can match the speeds and match the speeds to what the motherboard says is compatible. You may also want to look into brands, because some brands feature different additional features with RAM, and those may not matter, but it still is generally best to stick with the same brand and exactly the same RAM stick when you buy RAM. There are other stuff that you could have on the RAM, like lights and heat spreaders. Those aren't really required because RAM is not running fast enough to need a heat spreader. It's not a CPU, it's not going to need it. As long as you have proper airflow through the system, the RAM will be fine. And also there's like LED lights you can get on RAM. Like those are nice looking, they look nice, don't get me wrong, but they're not a requirement. You don't need them, but they do look nice. The only problem is going to be if you don't have a window, a glass pane sort of thing on the side of your case, you're not really going to see them very much. You'll also want to look into the idea of dual channeling, which is setting up the RAM on your motherboard in such a way so that way each one is using both RAM controllers on the system, because there's more than one RAM controller built into the motherboard, and it's usually paired off, so the first 2 slots are for one controller and the second 2 slots are for the second controller. And if you place one in each, then it will configure dual channeling using both of those controllers to increase speed. However, the configuration may be different, so check the motherboard. If you want to do dual channeling, check the motherboard to see what it is configured for to use dual channeling. In conclusion, you'll want to consider the size and the speed of the sticks and check with the motherboard to ensure the compatibility with that. And lights and other stuff are optional but look nice in cases with glass. And consider dual channeling if you have to use 2 sticks of RAM.